Thrive is freeze-dried food that is revolutionizing the way people think about food. So what is freeze-dried food, and why would you want to use it on a regular basis? Freeze-drying started out as a way to preserve foods so that they could be stored long-term, and then used later for emergencies, backpacking, and by the astronauts. Let's take a quick look at how food is freeze-dried. First, fruits and vegetables are allowed to ripen on the vine, and then they are picked at the peak of freshness. Then within hours they are washed, peeled, chopped, and flash frozen. Meats are seasoned and cooked, the grease is strained off, and then they are flash frozen. Dairy products like cheese and yogurt, as well as many other items, can be flash frozen for later freeze drying. After the foods are flash frozen, they are shipped to Thrive and stored in huge freezers. When the foods are ready to be freeze dried, they are placed on trays and put into a freeze drying machine. In the freeze dryer, a powerful vacuum causes the ice to change to vapor, and it evaporates away in a process called sublimation. After all of the ice is removed, the foods are packaged in vacuum-sealed containers to remove the oxygen. The two things that cause foods to spoil are water and oxygen. Because freeze-drying removes the water and our packaging process removes the oxygen, Thrive freeze-dried foods will last about 25 years on your shelf. And because freeze-drying is a cold process, none of the flavor or nutritional value are lost, like you see with dehydrating and traditional canning. In fact, studies show that freeze-dried foods retain 98% of their original nutrients for their entire shelf life. Now that you know how the freeze-drying process works, let's talk about the benefits of Thrive foods. The number one reason people love Thrive is because it's so convenient. With Thrive, you can prepare a meal in about half the time. That's because the foods are already prepped for you. There's no thawing, washing, peeling, chopping. After all, isn't the prep the thing that takes the most time when making a meal? With Thrive, you can just scoop the ingredients out of the can and throw them into the pan. Another way Thrive foods are convenient is that you can store a huge variety of foods in your pantry. That means you don't have to run to the store for an onion, mushroom, celery, or ground beef. All these and many, many more types of foods can be stored in your pantry for easy access whenever you need them. Thrive is healthy. Think about the produce you buy in the grocery store. Most produce in North America travels over 1,500 miles to get to your local store. That means it has to be picked long before it's ripe, which means many of the nutrients from the soil never make it into those foods. As those fruits and veggies are on their long journey, they're already starting to lose the vitamins and minerals they once had. And because they were picked weeks earlier, that bunch of bananas you picked up at the store is banana bread ready after just a few days in your kitchen. Contrast that with Thrive Foods because we let the growers know that our produce will be freeze-dried. They can allow them to remain on the vine until they're fully ripened and packed full of flavor and nutrients. When ripe, they're picked flash frozen and freeze-dried, locking in all that goodness. In fact, studies have shown that freeze-dried foods are higher in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants than their fresh counterparts. And because Thrive is picked at the peak of freshness and then freeze-dried to lock in the flavor, Thrive foods taste delicious. Because we work directly with the growers and producers of our food, we're able to set a very high-quality bar. Thrive foods are non-GMO, and we have over 100 gluten-free options. We have an executive chef, Chef Todd, who approves every new product, tests every batch as it is produced, and develops amazing recipes using Thrive foods. Thrive is extremely versatile. You can use it in virtually any dish, just as you would food from the grocery store. It's great for casseroles, omelets, smoothies, soups, pasta dishes, even pizza. The possibilities are almost endless. Plus, most Thrive foods are great to snack on, right out of the can. Our recipe website has hundreds of amazing dishes designed by Chef Todd as well as Thrive Life consultants. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, this all sounds great, but it's probably expensive. The great thing is, most people who start using Thrive on a regular basis find that it actually saves them money on their food budget. We've analyzed many recipes using Thrive ingredients and found that the typical cost of a meal for a family of 4 is $8 to $12. So it's very comparable to what you would spend to prepare a meal with foods from the grocery store, but it's a lot more convenient with Thrive. Here are some other ways Thrive will help you save money on your food budget. Number 1, you'll reduce trips through the drive-thru. Because Thrive is so convenient to cook with, it's easy to prepare a quick, healthy meal in 15 to 20 minutes. And by cutting out just 1 trip per week through the drive-thru, the typical family can save over $1,000 a year. Number 2, you'll reduce the impulse buys at the grocery store because you'll run to the store less often. When you have a variety of Thrive foods in your pantry, it reduces the number of trips you have to make to the grocery store. Need an onion, mushrooms for a favorite dish? No need to run to the store. It's in your pantry. Number 3, you'll cut food waste. Studies have found that the typical family throws away between 30 and 40% of the food they buy. That adds up to around $2,000 a year for the average family. With Thrive, you can scoop out exactly what you need so you won't have to buy too much and end up throwing half of it away. Need a half a cup of onion? Just scoop it out. Need a cup of ground beef? Just scoop it out. No more buying a bunch of celery, using half of it, and having the rest go bad. There's one more thing people love about Thrive, and that's that it lasts up to 25 years without any additives or preservatives. Plus, even after the can is open, most Thrive foods will last 1 to 2 years in your pantry. When you start using Thrive on a regular basis, not only will it save you time and money, but you'll learn how to cook with it, and you'll find out which Thrive foods your family likes. So in the event of an emergency, no matter how large or small, you'll have a supply of food that your family loves, and you'll know how to cook with it. Imagine that. To find out how to get Thrive at the best possible price, contact me, or you can click the link below to learn more about the Thrive Q.